This is ChadDiehlFitness.com. Today I'm going to talk about the hip. The hip flexor gets talked about constantly, about stretch your hip flexor, stretch your hip flexor, stretch your hip flexor. Once you get to the bottom of the squat and your hips are fully flexed, then you also want to be able to stand back up by using the glutes and not have any interference from a tight psoas so that you can activate the glute and fully extend the hip at the top of the squat. So with these two stretches, the first one that you see is a static stretch for the psoas. Again, I'm not a big fan of static stretching, but to find the end range of a muscle, you need to go through that static process. So as you can see, I use a band. With the band just falling off the front of my knee and move the knee away from the band, the more I can get away from the band, the better range of motion I have at the hip and the psoas. If you're finding that you can't actually get the knee to move away from the band, then you probably do have a tight psoas muscle in that hip complex. The second thing you want to be aware of is if you're doing this stretch and as you're going forward, the hip feels fine at the top in this section, but halfway down the leg, you get a quadricep, which is very tight and starting to get sore. Then you need to look at one of the four quadricep muscles, which is the rectus femoris, which also crosses the hip and competes with the psoas to create flexion. So last movement I want to leave you with is an activation technique I use to actually fire the psoas so that I can get my brain talking to it. If it's been tight and not moving properly for a long time, you still need to do some kind of isolated movement pattern with it. And what I'm going to do is just lie on my back. I'm going to bring one knee up to my chest, and then I want to bring the other leg just off the floor slightly, keep my core tight so I'm flat on the floor. With the knee close to the chest, what I'm going to do is release my hands, but I'm going to drive that knee up to the ear. Now it's extremely important that you follow the pattern of the psoas. So we don't want to come up with the knee and go inside internally. You want to come up with the knee and open it up. As you can see, after I've finished the stretch just on the one side, a little test you can do, put both feet out straight front and then just let them fly to the outside. You'll notice that my right leg is going down a lot further than my left. My left is still internally pulling a little bit, where my right one is just relaxed down. Chad Diehl Fitness, squat deeper, see you in the gym.